Hey, this is John Young. Tonight we're going to do a little test here. We've got 4 different spotlights here, or I should say floodlights. These are job site lights. I've got a Ryobi right here we're going to be doing. This is their panel light. Let me just bring you around to the front here. You can take a look at it a little bit better. It's a panel light. It's got the 2 wings that will go and do their adjustments so you can go at a wider angle. This is the hybrid version that will use a 1 plus battery, the 18-volt battery, or it will use a plug-in. All the fixtures we're going to be talking about here for these job sites, and there's the model number, the PCL 631. So that's going to be one of our lights, and I'll put the specs and everything down the bottom. Next, we're going to come over to this little 12-volt unit here from Milwaukee. It is also a little job site light here. And now we're going to come to this one. This is our Craftsman unit here. And again, these all are job site, and they all have the ability to be up on a stand. 3 of them are up on a microphone stand with that little adapter right there because they have quarter-inch nuts embedded in the base, so they can be up in the air. And this one, the top of it's about a little over 6, probably 6'4", something like that. And our final one is another spotlight, or I should say floodlight from Ryobi. This is the, let's see if we can see it here without getting too much. We're not going to blow it out. It's the PCL 630. So this particular one does not have any little wings on it. It is just a floodlight. So what I'm going to do is we're going to be shining, and I wanted to leave that little light. That's a little ring camera you're seeing on the left there. We're going to shine on that Dodge Dakota over there. I'm turning my little flashlight here. You can see a little bit. That's what we're going to be kind of focusing on in this test. These lights are approximately 32 to 34 feet away from that. So there's just a little bit of ambient light coming from behind me right now on a solar light that is glowing. That's why you can see a little shine on the truck. So we're going to go and shut all the lights off, and we're going to do our test with each of these lights so you can see which one will kind of illuminate that area. As you can see, we have a basketball pole right up there, or basketball backboard up there, and the truck. The basketball is going to be 40-some feet away, and there's my cat kicking on the light. And then, of course, we have the truck right there. So let's shut the lights off and see what these different floodlights will do. Now, our first light we're going to be looking at is the Ryobi. This is the 631. It's the panel light, which means it has the 2 little wings that can kind of go back and forth. Right now, I'm about 25 feet, 30 feet away. You can kind of get an idea looking at my backboard up there of how illuminated that is. Truck here, how illuminated I am. It's going to be able to cover this area really quite well. We've got some decent throw going in amongst the trees, but not a super far throw into the trees. This particular light is really designed to give you that 30 foot of light, and then to be able to spread that light out over more than 180 degrees. So it would be able to cover here, and with those little wings, you can cover to the sides a little bit and really be able to cover a wide area. The 631 also has multiple levels. We've got our high, we've got our medium, and we have our low. Next, we have our Milwaukee. This is in the 12 volt. This is in the M12 line. This is the standalone unit. We are using the other 3 are all on a microphone stand with an adapter, and those links will be in the description below. This is M12 series, and it's giving us a nice light. It's a little bit warmer color than the others. The others are probably a little more white or maybe blue, as some of you might say, but it's giving me a nice light. It's not as bright as the panel light. It's throwing in into the trees a little bit, enough if you were wanting to navigate and walk around, say at a campsite at about 50, 60 feet, it would be able to do that. But you're not going to be able to do much beyond some basic, bigger movement. Reading, if I'd want to read with the panel light, I probably could have been out about 15 feet to read. Here I'm going to probably need to be about 10, 12 feet away to be able to read, because it's just not quite as bright as that panel light. The M12 light also has multiple levels. We have our high and we have our low. Next, we've got our Craftsman unit. Now, this is in their 20V series, which is their relatively new cordless tool battery set. This little one will be able to give us a nice wide angle. We're probably looking at 160-degree width. So it's not quite, complete, but it's giving us a nice coverage from side to side. We're getting a similar throw as the others. We're not getting a whole ton of light back there, but we're really covering a lot of area. Now, this particular one will cover a lot of vertical area also, which makes it kind of nice to have it like on the floor if you're wanting to look up a wall. That's what really a lot of these are designed for. to give you that. The panel, because of the wings, can give you a wider look, but this one is going to give you that all over. So if we look up into the trees, you can kind of see above me if the camera's up that high. I can see into the trees really quite well. If I wanted to read, I'm going to probably have to come in here. It's a little bit brighter now. It's, panel and this are the two brightest. I could be about 15 feet out and easily be able to read with this one. So it's really a very bright light for our application here today. The Craftsman light also has two levels. This is high and this is low. Now our final light in our little test is the Ryobi. This is the 630. 631 was the panel. 630 is just the center section of the panel to kind of cut down a little bit, so it's not quite as bright. Still getting a nice about 160 degree coverage of light. It's obviously a little brighter out here than maybe on the very edges, but it's still, they're all doing a really nice job with that. Not as bright, I would say. If we were going to go compare, the panel probably would be the brightest in this test. The Craftsman would be the second. The 630 would be our third, and then our final would be the Milwaukee. Really, the Milwaukee and this one are pretty close. You just have a little bit more of a whiter light with the 630, and you do have a little bit more, I think, coverage to the width. I think the Milwaukee is more of a out here spot to a point. I mean, it does come out and it does go to the side, but I think we get a little bit wider on the bigger ones when it comes to that. The 630 also has multiple settings. We have our high, we have our medium, and we have our low. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. Right now, it's like bright as like I'm on a stage. I've got all four of them on for this last little spot here. If you're looking for some light for outside, or if you're doing sheetrock, really any of these lights would be able to help you get that sheetrock smooth, because you can lower that little Milwaukee down and have it shine up the wall. Or any of these, the way I have them is on a microphone stand. If you watch my other video where I kind of talked about how to make a microphone stand work to hold these hybrid lights, you could certainly use that application with that little adapter, and you've got yourself a job site stand type light. Now, all four of these are also hybrid, which means that they can use the battery, whether it's the 18 volt Ryobi, if it's the 12 volt Milwaukee, or if it's the 20 volt Craftsman. All four of these models are using the hybrid technology, which allows you the battery, or you can plug that right into the wall and you would be able to run that light either way. Obviously, if you're plugged into the wall, your runtime is going to be pretty much till you're done. But runtime on all of these, if you're using a larger battery, you're going to have more runtime than probably you have energy to complete the task in one setting. So just really nice options for what you're doing. It just depends if you want to have a wider angle, if you need more height on your things, if you need more flexibility. Each one has got its little nuances and price points that kind of coincide with that. We'll put links in the description below to the mic stands, to the adapters, to the lights, so you can go and check these all out and see if any of them will fit for your projects.
For more tips and how-to videos, go to weekendhandyman.com.